This segment is brought to you by JigMaster Jigs. When in doubt, get the jig out. Go to JigMasters.com and use promo code PNF20 and save 20% off your next jig order today.
Let's go! This is the Chasin the Tide saltwater segment on the Paddle Fin Network. I'm your host, Dustin Nichols. Come along for the saltwater shenanigans. All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the saltwater segment here on the Paddle Fin Network. This is Dustin Nichols with Chasin the Tide. And tonight I got a special guest. I got Miss Alexis Daley from Central Florida, down there around the Banana River, kind of Spacecoast area, I guess you would call it, right? What's up, girl?
Yes, sir. Spacecoast grown.
There you go. Man, that's some of my old stomping grounds when I used to surf back in the day. So that's pretty cool. You know, I found your, I don't know how I ended up like searching, you know, when you search hashtags on Instagram, you see all kind of cool pictures. And I stumbled across all these pictures and I was like, man, this girl can fish. So I was like, man, I was like, you're my first lady angler guest, so I'm stoked to have you on because you a flat stalker in that little kayak.
And I'm honored.
Yeah,
Really
girl,
honored.
I'm stoked, man. This is awesome. So you know, what I like to do, just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, where you from, kind of grew up, and how you got into fishing, and what led you to getting in that kayak. So if you can share that with us, that'd be awesome.
Well, I actually moved to Florida from California in '98. I was a girly girl. I did all the sports in high school, and I was into photography. So that's really where it started growing. I took digital photography. I even learned how to develop my own black and white film. So when I started getting into nature and, you know, learning how to fish, it was just like being able to tie it all in, my photography and the love for my passion. But I started fishing in 2012. I was actually surfing for a year. I owe it all to my boyfriend, Justin. We kind of just we need something to do together. So we just started fishing our like bridges around 520, and we were fishing the little creeks and ponds that were around in Merritt Island, Cocoa Beach. But we just knew that we needed to get farther. So that's where the kayak came in.
Yep.
And the kayak was actually gifted to me by my fly sponsor. He's like, I need you on the water. I need you catching bigger fish. I can't handle this. Like, girl, we got to get you out there.
Aha, right on.
So I've been on the kayak for about 3 years now. And I've been fly fishing for 4 years, light tackle for 7 years. So it
sweet.
Yeah. I love it.
That's awesome. You say Merritt Island, there's those little ponds there actually have little tarpon in them.
Oh, yeah. Even if you go US 1 south to like the Turkey Creek or Goat Creek and all them.
Yep.
Yes. I love I'm a creek fisher. I'm a backwater fisher. You know, like canals, anything I can find on the side of the river, I'm going to check it out.
to get out of the wind, you know, because wind cannot be your friend in a kayak sometime on open bay systems and open flats. You know, you can struggle staying in position and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, the backwaters, I mean, you pulling some toads out of there. Hey, I'm not kidding. Y'all plug your Instagram handle right here, because I'm going to say, all y'all go check this girl out. The girl got some fish.
It's a Island Angler 93.
Yep, we'll plug it again at the end. Yep, we'll plug it again at the end, and I'm going to write it in the write up for when we share this on the face bizzle, on the book face. So yeah, awesome. So kayak fishing then. So once you got into that and you know, that led you to opening up things and chasing some different species. You open up your range a little bit, so you were able to go and you know, what species do you target, you know, in those flats right now?
I target them all.
Whatever you can get a lure in front of, huh?
Yeah. I started actually land-based fishing for tarpon. So that whole gaining patience and learning for hours, you know, that's where it came from. Was actually first species I targeted was tarpon. And then we did the redfish and trout off the bridges. And then once I got the kayak, I was able to get into the snooks and get to the mangroves and be able to actually like figure out where these species are hiding.
Right.
I hope that. Can you hear that vacuum?
Oh, it's not bad. You're all
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Maintenance lady's doing the office.
It's all good. Yeah, she's at work right now on break, and that's pretty cool because she actually works for SeaDeck. I know some of y'all are familiar with that company there. They make great products for boats, the non-skid, non-slip surface that attaches with like 3M adhesive, I think, or something like that. And and they got stuff available for kayaks too, so it's pretty rad. So yeah, so species wise, you know, like you said, the patience and learning about the, you know, the tarpon and everything. That's just like, you never know, you might get that one bite. That's just how it is for me trying to chase the big trout in the winter. I might go fish for 5 hours. I might get 2 bites, and one of them's gonna be that fish. You know, I might go sometimes and not even get a bite. It just happens. You know, you have to learn to deal with that. That's a big part of fishing there. Yep. Very true. Very true.
Get stuck in the rain and all.
So most of your target species are going to be what, the tarpon, redfish, and the snook around the mangroves, and then our speckled trout. I saw recently you caught a pretty solid one a couple weeks back. Are they making a comeback there in that area?
They've been kind of coming around. I actually do not target trout, believe it or not. So when I catch a trout, it's kind of just a blind cast of the mangroves, a blind cast in the middle of the channel, or just, I don't know. We got these little tunnels in the mangroves, and they love them tunnels. So the openings to the cuts, opening to the channels, the creeks. Yeah. But my biggest trout is actually 33 inches caught out of a culvert.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't really target trout.
Yeah. That's giant.
Yeah. That's what
actually dirty 33, yo. That's what I'm talking about.
30,
yeah, that's
30
solid.
Club.
That's solid. And that was on a swim bait, a topwater, or a...
That was on a tsunami tuftail shrimp.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. My wife was just calling me during this show. I was like, whoa, what are you doing? Yeah, it's all good. Dang, tsunami tuftail shrimp. I'm gonna have to,
in the gold color.
Check them out, gold. And it was in like a little brackish water culvert.
Yeah, it was a saltwater brackish, and it's just a culvert pipe that was off of US 1.
Wow, off the bank, off the bank.
Off the bank, just like one of those little drainage culvert things, just come right off of US 1. Yeah.
They're in the damnedest places sometimes. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Y'all don't have the peacocks up that far, do you? No, not quite. I think they like around Fort Pierce and stuff, kind of down that way, West Palm and all that has them too.
They're on my bucket list.
Mostly you do a lot of sight casting though. Yes. I saw some of the videos and stuff. You know, mainly you say the tsunami shrimp, the chase bait, the flick prawn, those are pretty good.
And of course,
Slayer. I said she's rocking a shirt right there. Slayer Inc. Mr. Chris Cincy himself. You know, old Jacksonville boy. What's up, my man? If you listen to this, we gonna plug you too.
You, Cincy, you getting it?
Yeah, my man gets some. Them baits got some wobble. They can wiggle. Yeah. They got some hits on them. Call them in.
Don't say swim on the fall for nothing.
Exactly. So mainly, you know, a lot of your techniques are involved in sight casting, and you want something to get those fish attention, you know, and pull them away from what they're doing at that time.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I do a lot. I'm like 75% sight casting. I'm 25% blind casting because half the time, you know, there's not a fish gonna like pop up and tail or whatever. Right. That's where the trout comes in. That's where the snook comes in. You know. Oh yeah. Little juvie poon, whatever.
Yeah, you get after them, man. That's awesome. That's so cool to have all them species right there. You know, I was lucky enough to catch a couple snook here in Texas, and you know, some young little tarpon, and every now and then we get a few here. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool that you got all that there in your area. That you got all the access to all of that.
Yes.
That's awesome. So, in the kayak, do you find yourself like standing up and push poling around a lot? Do you use that to your advantage, or you're able to do that too?
90% of the
Yeah.
time, I'm standing in a sit-on-top kayak.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have a 12-foot Perception Pescador Sport. It's like the original model.
The original one.
Like the original. I haven't even seen this anywhere except for my kayak. Everyone's like, I got the same kayak. I'm like, it's the newer one. This thing looks nothing like mine. Like the whole seat design, the rod holder design, the compartments, everything's different.
Yeah.
And I stand on it. And actually, a lot of the kneeling and sitting I do, along the years, it's going to start hurting my knees and thighs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
trying to catch myself before I get a little older.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the sight casting, that's why I'm standing. I can't sit, honestly, in a kayak and be able to make a perfect cast in front of a fish, lead it, and make that hook set. Like, it's me and standing, it's just more thrill. So it's awesome.
Plus, you're elevated and you got a little better perception of the fish too. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I actually started out of a Perception Caster 12.5, and that was probably, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 years ago myself. So I once I moved to Texas, I've been in Texas since '96. So we were able to walk into spots and like wade fish like the flats, because it's a lot of places it's hard bottom, or the mud isn't that deep. We don't have a lot of the crazy marsh estuaries like, Northeast Florida, Southeast Georgia, South Carolina. Like in my area, we can like park on the side of the road and walk into some little spots and fish. So that's when I started really hitting it hot and heavy again, was when I moved back here. I grew up fishing, Southeast Georgia, farm ponds and the coastal waters there. And, it always been a love of mine and a passion. I grew up watching all them fishing shows on TV Saturday morning, and
that's where I started. Also, I watched a bunch of YouTube channels, like Blair Wiggins, Bill Dance, Saltwater Experience, Into the Blue. Kind of got me that little offshore love, but I've never really been offshore. But it's just I learned how to skip a lure from Blair Wiggins. Straight up. Just watching
Addictive fishing. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's come to Texas a few times to fish with a friend of mine. He fished with Brian Barrera. He's marketing director for DOA. He lives down on South Padre, or fishes down that area, Port Isabel, South Padre, and home of some of our bigger Texas snook down there. There's some solid ones down there in that area, and that's what he had a show on. He came down and fish with Brian, and they did a little show on the Texas snook. It was pretty cool. Blair seems like a really cool guy. I got a few of his reels coming in from Lou's, a couple of his little signature reels. Want to give them a try, and because I'm pretty much straight Lou's myself, so they hold up for me pretty good. And I bass fish a lot, so man, I've always been a fan of them. So but Blair, he does some good shows. I've pretty much I probably watched every episode he's got out. Just for info. Man. Yeah, Mogan Man. You can never stop learning.
No.
So it might as well just watch it, enjoy it, because that's what I do. I can still sit and watch people catch fish on TV and enjoy it myself, because there's just that thrill of it. And then, but when you're on the water, though, it's like the hunt, the stalk, trying to find them, there's just something about it. So it's just cool. Cool.
And like you said, the hunt, it adds to it. It's the hunt for the fish, the hunt for the tail to pop up, or a pop in the mangroves, or a wake out on the flat. It's just the hunting for that. It's just, it's
and then when them big redfish are in play, you hear that toilet flush. That's about what it sounds like. It's like, oh, he just lit a mullet up, or a pinfish, or piggy perch, whatever he was eating. He just lit it up. See, right now we got a crazy shad spawn going on right here with all the little 2-3 inch shad all the shad had just spawned, and all the little fry are growing and moving out of the marsh, and it's been absolute stupid over here. Stupid. I pre-fished for a tournament Friday, and I had two because they got to be slots, so they got to be between 20 and 28. I had two that were a little over 8 pounds apiece for my best two on Friday, and I just got out of that area. It was a big mud flat off of a drain coming out of a back lake into a big flat, and they were just stacked up. And they were there Friday. I had one break a hook on a one knocker spook, and then I picked up one that's about 26 3/4, probably right at 8 pounds. And my buddy picked up one. The fish died on the way back to the launch, so that's a half-pound deduction to turn into dead fish, because our kayak tournaments here, for redfish, most of them you got to bring in live fish to the weigh-in. So you got to have like a cooler setup with a bubbler and an aeration system and stuff. So we decided not to go to weigh-in. Yeah,
I've been there.
Yeah, we'd have had second place even with the deduction.
No!
Yeah, that's always fun. So yeah, I sat down and wrote an article tonight for a local magazine here in coastal Texas and Louisiana, and I did like a little public service announcement about that. If you have fish, go to the damn weigh-in.
Yep. I think I've done that twice.
Dang. So yeah, next question I was going to get in was about tournaments in your area. Y'all have some pop up here and there, and have you fished any of them?
We do have local tournaments that pop up. We have like the Facebook group, Brevard Real Anglers, that will do they've been trying to do monthly tournaments. But my main tournament that I will do every year is the RCI Invitational. That's actually my sunglass sponsor.
Oh, cool deal.
And what they do is everything that's bought for raffle tickets, is donated, and it's just a whole bunch of people get together for fun. It is catch photo release, and they give you a little token. But
cool.
That's gun ho. That's my tournament I try for every year.
That's awesome, because it brings the people together, the camaraderie, and that's what got me involved in the whole tournament scene too in the kayaks, was the camaraderie and everybody coming together, hanging out, having a good time after the tournament's over. Everybody checks back in and hangs out, eats some burgers and hot dogs or whatever, and hangs out. That's always pretty cool. So yeah, that's awesome. So that's the RCI. That's you're sponsored by them. I didn't. Are they out of Florida there? Are they based out of there?
Yep, they're actually based. They have a few locations out at Indian Harbor Beach, at Shady Characters off of 192. But they are. Okay. It's a family owned. Sorry, grown, whatever you want to call it. But they lived about 15 minutes north of me when I lived on the island, and I love RCI. Cool. They're ballistic rated. I've taken a hook to the eye, and it's not even scratched my lens. And I got a video of it. I cast for the redfish. He takes it. I pulled so hard, the lure just comes shooting right at my face, and it just boom. Nothing happened. And it just kept on going. I was just, thank you for my advice.
Ballistic impact resistant. Yeah. Thank you for those. Yeah. You only have two eyes. I don't know how it will be with one. That throws your peripheral off and all that everything. So that wouldn't be no fun at all.
Catch your pirate eye.
Yeah. I guess chasing the redfish with one eye. I don't want to do that. No. So yeah, tournaments. I know. We got a couple coming up. I got a bass tournament next weekend that I'm hopefully getting able to fish without having to take a day off from work. I don't know. And then, but yeah, the IFA comes through. Y'all have any? Y'all have some down close to y'all? They.
I believe the IFA runs out of actually Jacksonville area.
There's one there too.
Yeah, or it's in the Panhandle. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, Crystal River, I think, is where I think there was one just there this past or the weekend before. Yeah. That sounds. So they run further north than where you're at then a little bit. Yeah. Jacksonville, a lot of title change up there. Yeah, y'all don't have as much down there.
Nope. We don't have a tide from a little north of what's north of Titusville?
Oh yeah, it's New Smyrna, Ponce Inlet.
Yeah, so like just somewhere south of there, like the Mosquito Lagoon.
The Mosquito Lagoon, Linda Vista. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like Sebastian north, we have no tide.
Yeah, you don't really have a whole lot of tide there. That's right.
Strictly wind driven.
That's how it is here in Texas. We'll get some, spring and fall bigger tides and stuff too. And but most of our normal tide swings are about a foot or a foot and a half, Big tide swing will be 2 to 3 foot, But like you said, mostly wind driven. Look for that wind driven current, pushing around points and pushing into, down a canal and pushing around and, making an ambush point or something like that. That's when you got to search that out. That's a big plus when you have those conditions, because still wind. I mean, you can see the fish a lot better when you're sight casting, but I like that little bit of ripple. I throw a lot of top water, so I'm I throw a lot of top water walking baits and poppers and stuff like that, and buzz baits for redfish, chatter baits, buzz baits. I do a lot of transition with the freshwater baits to redfish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, frogs, top water frogs, they kill them things in the grass. It is so much fun. So much fun. You're gonna have to try it. I tell you, get a white popping frogs by the mangroves, and they're gonna hammer them.
Hell yeah! I'm definitely gonna try that. I have to try that.
Definitely. And even the big swim bait style baits that like 7-8 inch bass swim baits. They look like a giant mullet, and that's what I've caught some of my bigger trout on those. Yeah, it's really cool.
I love the Grandes. They're a 6-inch soft plastic by Slayer.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you just slow roll them.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, he's got fluke style baits now too, jerk baits, and those look really good. And there's a technique in bass fishing called a donkey rig, and what it is, it's a double weedless hook with 2 flukes on it, so they like dart against each other. So it'd be very interesting that too. I haven't done it for redfish yet, but when these little shad spawns are going on, and throwing a little smaller size flukes would be pretty cool. So that's one I want to try out on the redfish. I haven't done that one yet. So, but I know I catch bass on them all the time. So I like the transition. I like to take and dabble. The crawfish. Like over here in our brackish waters, we have crawfish and stuff too. I'm sure y'all probably do. Also in Louisiana, it's a big deal. But creature style baits on weedless hooks with like a little flasher blade, like a little underspin off of it, and pitching it to the redfish that are tailing in the reeds and in the grass with a heavy rod like you're pitching for bass. That's what I use that a lot over here in some of my areas. It's definitely a different technique to look into.
But you're getting my head turning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just so fun. I like to get out and experiment. That's the thing. If I'm having a good day and the fish are just crushing everything, I might have a little separate bag of something. Man, I want to see if they'll eat this. I want to see if they eat that. So that's what's cool about, just to learn those fish's behavior. I want to know everything about them fish.
Absolutely. No, I've learned so much about redfish and tarpon and just how they act in the mornings and the evenings, or you're talking about with the tides or the wind drivens, are they going to eat at a strong east wind? Do they want the glassy side, the windy side? It all comes into play a lot.
Yeah, it does, definitely. So, I do a thing called Tackle Box Confessional or whatever. So, I want to throw out, off the top of your head right now, what's your top 3 favorite baits you're throwing right now?
The Pearl SS. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, this time of year, right now. Yeah.
The Pearl SST XL by Slayer. The Yozuri Twitch bait, the 3DS model. I've done the peanut bunker model color and the chartreuse. Or you can get it's like the small and the medium sizes I've been using. Okay. So the small for the baby tarpon, medium for actually all species.
Yeah.
The third one. I'd have to go back to probably the Slayers and the SSTs, which is the regular small one that he makes. Yes. Because I can use that in freshwater. I can use it for baby tarpon. I can use that all around. And, and
you mainly rig those with his weedless screw lock hooks?
Yes, the Predator weedless.
Yes. Yeah. That's cool. And you're saying the Yozuri Twitch bait, and it's a lipless one that's just or yes, okay. And you just and it's like a subsurface, kind of goes down it's 6 or 8 inches so, or is it a slow sinking?
It floats to the top, and then when you twitch it, it'll go down a little bit and come back
up. Dart down and come back up when you pause, and they usually slam it when it's coming up off that pause. Yeah. Yeah, we got some of those.
The pencil.
Oh, pencil.
The Yozuri pencil. Oh my gosh, I've been loving that for the morning.
The pencil popper.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are sick. They're little. They're skinnier, and I know I can crush some trout on those. I need to get some of those and try them out. I just can't get off the walking baits. I could make them dance and entice them fish to eat them sometimes when they don't feel like it.
Those are the ones I'm learning.
Yeah.
Learning how to use hard baits.
Walk the dog and get them to pitch and it depends. Plus you got to find that rhythm the fish want that day. And then there's different size BBs and so they have different tones, high pitch, low pitch. There's one with one knocker. There's one with small BBs in it. I mean, it starts getting out of control just think about how much tackle's out there. There's a ton. There's some really cool stuff that what is it, that Krusty Krab?
Yeah, by Chase Baits.
Yeah, those work really good too for sight casting over here, and I've caught some sheephead off of them.
Yeah, the Krusty Krab and then the Smashed Crab Juniors are really good.
Junior, yes, and then there's another one out of Australia that makes one called the Cranka Crab, and it actually like wiggles. It's like it's got little pinchers and then the little treble hooks come off of the pinchers, and it's like a little crankbait style crab, and it just wiggles the whole. Yeah, those are pretty cool looking too. I get my hand on some of them. I haven't had them yet. They look really good. And I know, like you said, the tsunami, that shrimp. I need to look into them too.
So they were always really good for me, especially. I mean, not having a shrimp pattern that I can always pick out. I'm a local shopper. Yeah, I've always been a shrimp person, and then the crazy colors, and that's how I started picking out my lures. Is honestly, I'd just be like, "Oh, that's a pretty color." I ended up catching a fish on it. So I was like,
off of it.
It's the craziest pink and chartreuse, but that fish ate. So I was like,
I throw the stupidest colors ever.
And I do. I actually get asked a lot, why do I pick the color of Slayer that I pick and for like each day? But I just look at my tackle box, pick out a color. If that's the color I want to use that day, it's just if the fish eats it, the fish eat it,
Yeah. I throw the bubblegum pink. I throw a color called bruised banana. It's brown and yellow. I throw what's that other ugly color? There's a couple of them. I mean, they're just flat out ugly. Bumblebee. Like, I throw some ugly colors, but that's the thing. And then there's one on the back side is bright orange. It's called methiolate. It's like neon red orange. And the fish don't see it. Like, you go to a lake, if they've never seen that color, they gonna eat it. And everybody's like, you catch fish off that bright pink stuff? I said, shoot, yeah. Them trout tear them pink flukes up. They love them things. So, yeah. Thanks for sharing those baits with us. That's cool to have that. Get that out there and let everybody know what you're throwing too. So, don't give it too much away now.
I mean, they're I don't know. It's just they're easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that, I could put on a rod for my niece and say, hey, just wiggle it around.
Wiggle it around,
and,
Yep.
She can catch a bass, she can catch trout, something off the shoreline. So. And
it's fun, too. Just get them into that at a young age, too. So that's always cool. That's cool. So, I was, you have quite the collection of photos, and that's when I found you online. I was like, man, this got some sick angles, some cool shots, and I was wanting to ask, are you capturing those shots by yourself, like via GoPro, like with it clipped off to something, or you got any kind of little tricks or something?
With the GoPro 4 that I'm using, I have it on a tripod, and I actually just put it in time lapse. Let it do it 3 or 5 second video shot or pictures. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then, if I don't like it, obviously I can go to the next one. But really, it's my GoPro on a tripod, and I just play with the photos to see, which angle looks better, or if it's blurry, I'm gonna try it again. But
right.
The time lapse actually gives me a lot more time with the fish. to be able to handle if I need to keep it in the water. I don't have to touch my GoPro.
Yeah.
And, you know, if it's sitting there going clicking away, I don't care if I'm holding the fish in the water for, you know, a couple extra 30 seconds. Just because, you know, I'd rather that GoPro click off than the redfish not swim off. So.
Right, exactly. And I found that too, trying to shoot with the time lapse. It's, you know, I've done video and I pull frame grabs from video, but it seems the time lapse has a higher quality, higher resolution photos. Or if you can get that right angle, you already know. And with the, I think, whatever
GoPro
they are now, the new ones, GoPro take photo or whatever, you know, and that's pretty cool. So, you know, because you've got some good angles. The way you set it up and everything make those fish look really good, you know. So, man, that's props on that. You know, that's what stood out a lot, and a lot of big fish. Y'all need to go check it out. I'm telling y'all, this girl catches some tank redfish, man. Good grief, making me jealous over here. I was like, I thought I had some good redfish over here. Man, they pretty over there too in that tannic water. I know that area has had some problem with the algae bloom, and some of the flats kind of suffered a little bit, but I guess the fish have adapted and are still hanging in there.
Even when it was super nasty, like we were still finding fish. They were just more sporadically spread out.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of finding like 5 fish in a quarter mile, you're finding 1 fish in 1 mile.
Oh, wow.
So it drastically changed on the flats, and it made an impact. But a lot of anglers were saying, you know, the fish aren't there. There's no fish. I'm not having any luck. But honestly, it was, where were people looking? You know, what exactly were you looking for? You know, if the water quality changes, your eyes have to change. Like you have to pick up on, you know, tarpon could be a black bar in clear green water down south, but when you come up north, it turns brown.
Yeah.
So a lot of those factors come into play, and with the algae, it's kind of making a comeback. We're finding cleaner areas.
Yeah.
But the fish have they never left.
Yeah, they adapted. They adapted and overcome. See, because here we get a lot of freshwater runoff in some of our areas, and you know, the water gets, you know, looks like yoo-hoo. Sometimes, and you know, we get a lot of times we have green water move in, and it's beautiful. And I mean, I got flats I can go and see, you know, 3-4 foot of water. I can see a quarter on the bottom, you know, close by Port Aransas, Rockport, Corpus, even further down south also. My water up here, I got a little more river estuaries that dump into the bay systems I fish. So, you know, a lot of times I'm looking for that tail. I'm not really looking for the sight, you know, can't really see the fish like I should, you know, so I'm looking for that commotion or that wake pushing, you know. So, you know, has that affected anything where you're at with that algae bloom? Was that affecting some of the clarity wise as far as seeing the fish?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you've been down to Sebastian, you know, right out there in the inlet. It should be clear.
Yeah.
You know, there were days that it's complete muck out on the ocean.
Oh, wow. I hadn't been back there in many years. So back in the day, it was, you know, you could look and see the fish on the rocks off the jetty.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So
I think it was like the second time I'd ever taken my kayak off the beach, and I like just paddled out past the breakers, and I was probably on the water for about 2 hours, not even realizing it. And I just seen this tide line come, and I'm like, what is this? And I realized I'm south of the inlet, but then it's complete. You could see crystal clear to my right, just chocolate milk to my left. I'm like,
wow, it's
how
just
is
that,
it?
Yeah. That color change was right there, like very definitive, huh?
Very, very distinct. It was literally, if I put my kayak and took a picture, you'd see night and day just right there. It was kind of disgusting, but it was like you're in the ocean, you know, there's a lot of water, the tides and the water current flow, like.
Yep.
So it's just, we're making a comeback. I can say that.
That's good. That's
but
awesome.
It takes a lot of, you know, the city and the state to help.
And everybody working together, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah. You know, she she's got great photos. Everybody look her up on Instagram, and then also you can check out some of the films, some of the footage with her and her boyfriend Dustin Hoover put out, Island Angler Films on YouTube. So everybody get on there and check that out too. Y'all see some live action, some on the camera eats and everything too. Some good looking footage. I was watching some of it last night. Sure enough. So yeah, we're gonna man, thanks a lot for C-Deck for letting you take you a break right here while you're working, and we're gonna try to wrap up right here. So once again, I thank you for coming on. So I'm gonna give you a chance to plug your sponsors or thank anybody you want to right now. So yeah, there you go. Go ahead.
Well, if you want to check me out on Instagram, it's at Island Angler I'll repeat that. At Island _Angler 93. I forget the underscore. I am on Facebook, and we do have the Island Angler Films on YouTube. You can check out me and Justin on there doing our sight fishing. But most of all, I just really want to rep Slayer Inc. Lures. He's been a really big help to me over the last 2 years. RCI Optics out of Indian Harbor Beach, Florida. They've been really my knock and key. But I tell you this, I go to Harry Goods Outdoor Shop for all my Slayers, my weedless, everything. He's off of 192. It's called Harry Goods Outdoor Shop.
Sweet.
But he's a great man. His name's Richard. Check him out. And if you haven't, check me out.
There you go. Yeah, girl. Man, I'm for real. Yeah, I was blown away some of them fish, man. It was like, dang, some good pictures, and I was like, man, I need somebody on it that sight cast like that, because it's not a thing. I mean, we're seeing more of an influx for sure around our area too, especially kayak fishing. Also, we got some ladies starting to pick up, and we got some that are starting to enter some of the bass tournaments, and there's like a bigger movement with that too. But the sight fishing, and just you got to put in work. You have to, and you have to learn. There's a whole deal. I mean, you have to really put in the work to figure those fish out sometimes. So props on that. I'm stoked to have you on here, and thanks for coming on the show. And like I said, oh yeah, y'all plug Justin Hoover. Y'all check him out too. What's his Instagram?
At redfishing321.
Redfishing321. That's her boyfriend Justin. Her and him have that Island Angler Films on YouTube. Y'all go give them a look. And thank y'all for listening and tuning in. We appreciate it. So yeah, we'll catch y'all next time on Chasin the Tide. Dustin is out. You.
Thanks for tuning in to another killer episode on Paddle and Fin. Don't forget to go check out our website at paddle_and_fin.com. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel at Paddle and Fin. If you got a question, comment, want to hear from a future guest on a future episode, feel free to email us at paddle_and_fin@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Paddle and Fin on Facebook and Instagram. Shout out to our show supporters, Angler. The Angler button and app just makes for a better time on the water and creates a virtual logbook for every fishing outing out on the water. Shout out to Rocktown Adventures, located in Northern Illinois, for all your kayaking, camping, and hiking needs. TRC Covers, protect your investment. Ketch Products, shout out to Ketch Products. Go to ketchproducts.com and put the Paddle and Fin logo directly on your catch board. Shout out to JigMasters Jigs. When in doubt, get the jig out. Go to JigMasters.com, use promo code PNF20 and save 20% on all your jig and tackle needs.